Colleen Ballinger has revealed the real-life inspiration for Miranda Sings. Tyler Oakley has returned to his college to do something historic. JackSepticEye wants your fan art, and he wants it now. And of course, it's the return of Dan Howell. All this plus they did the mash, they did the monster mash, at least according to initial reports. We'll keep you posted on this week's spooky edition of YouTuber Booze, the video booze service from We the Boonicorns Halloween. That's right, folks, it's a special Halloween edition of the show, which means the show is going to be basically exactly the same as always, but if I remember, I might make a Halloween joke later, so keep your eyes out for that. Our first story, Colleen Ballinger went on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon to promote the second season of Haters Back Off, which is weird because that's a show she's not affiliated with at all. It's a show made by an entirely different person named Miranda Sings. It's not really clear why Colleen decided to go on this late night show and talk about someone else's TV show. I guess she's a big fan. Pretty weird. I'm just kidding, guys. I know that Colleen is actually Miranda's agent, and she was talking on the show about the origins of Miranda, where she came from. Colleen says that she based Miranda's mannerisms and strange sensibilities on people from her vocal classes in college. These people had some very strange ideas about what makes a good singer. She said that, they had this idea that you have to raise your eyebrows if you want to sing high, something that Miranda does. And she says that originally she made the Miranda Sings videos just to make fun of these people. And she says, if that sounds mean, it's because it is. I have a character like Miranda Sings. Yeah, like a sort of larger-than-life character that people don't like, yeah. Yeah, it's called Benedict Townsend, yeah. And I've been playing it for my whole life. Colleen says that people then found those videos online and hated them because they thought Miranda was real and would give her so much hate in the comments. But she said the more hate she got, the more she would just amp up the character. So in a way, which is kind of a nice link considering the show is called Haters Back Off, she says the character of Miranda was sort of built by haters. It's kind of like with this show, how every week I get comments saying that it's really bad. So what I do is, to get back at them, is I make the show even worse next time around. Take that, haters! Ha ha ha! I'm 45 years old. I'm too old for this. Our second story, Tyler Oakley has made history by returning to his university, and becoming the youngest and first openly gay Grand Marshal of a homecoming. Now, I'm British, in case you haven't noticed, so I don't really know what a homecoming is, nor do I know what a Grand Marshal of a homecoming is, but I do know that it's a big honor. He seemed very excited about it. He also seemed to be cheered by a stadium full of people. So, Tyler, whatever this means, congratulations. Unless it's somehow bad, in which case, uncongratulations. In preparation for this segment, I was going to do a bunch of research about marshals, but I ended up just watching the film Forgetting Sarah Marshall. And I suppose what I learned is that really, maybe sometimes the thing you were chasing was in here all along. So, Tyler, if that's relevant to you at all, you're welcome. Oh, is that the doorbell? Ah. Must be trick-or-treaters. I mean, this is YouTuber Booze after all, the Halloween special. Everything I've said so far has been very obviously Halloween themed, so why wouldn't there be trick-or-treat? Let me just deal with these trick-or-treaters then one second. Right. Oh, these kids. Get out of here! Just gave them some candy, so that wasn't still rolling, was it? Our third story, JackSepticEye wants your fan art, and god damn it, he wants it now. Jack has brought back his immensely popular segment, #SepticArt, wherein you send him JackSepticEye themed fan art and he features it on his channel. But you haven't got long because he's already set a deadline of October 31st. That's right, October 31st, that magical little day that you might know as Christmas Eve. In celebration of SepticArt, I'm launching our own fan art challenge for you guys. That's right, you need to make some YouTuber news related fan art, whether it be perhaps a portrait of my son, Tavin, or a picture of a glass of ram's blood, whatever you want. Do some fan art, tweet it at We The Unicorns, and just use the simple hashtag YNGCFanart. Competition. Entry. 2017. The end. Thank you. Please. Just send it in with that hashtag to @WeTheUnicorns, and I will take that fan art, I will print it out. Alright, next segment. I think we're going to get quite a lot of fan art this year. Yeah. We didn't get a lot last year, because the show didn't exist. And we're probably not going to get much next year, because I'm about to imminently go to prison for that whole, Yeah, the whole thing with the mafia and I kept making people disappear, yeah. But this year will be good. Well, we've covered all our stories for the day, and you know what that means. It's time for Dan Howell to watch himself on screen on this video, because it's time for Dan Howell Watch. Welcome to Dan Howell Watch, I'm Dr. Shirley Templeton. What's Dan been up to this week? Well, he's had a little bit of trouble. Now, as you know, last week he and Phil launched their very own board game, Truth Bombs. We actually covered it on last week's episode. If you haven't seen that, you can go back and give that a little cheeky watch and you'll find out all about it. But Dan had a bit of trouble because he got himself a delivery of a brand new copy of Truth Bombs. He already had a few, but he wanted another one, and he was opening it up, ready to play with his friends, when he found that the box was filled with hundreds upon thousands of bats. And the bats flew out and they pecked him, which is weird because bats are usually they bite or they scratch. These ones pecked him, and then they started grabbing onto his shirt and lifting him up into the air, and they carried him away. He hasn't been seen since. So this is actually pretty serious. He's not. I'm just reading the teleprompter here. He's actually been taken away by bats, and no one's seen him since. Oh man, that's quite a cliffhanger ending. Well folks, for the first time in Dan Howell Watch history, we've got a cliffhanger on our hands. You'll have to tune in next week to find out what happened. What's that? Oh, he just got bitten by bats. There was nothing more? They returned him home and he was fine, but he got bitten a few times? Okay, well don't tell them that, because I want them to tune in next week. I'm doing it like a cliffhanger thing. We've got a cliffhanger on our hands, folks. If you want to find out what happened to Dan, you'll have to tune in next week. I'm afraid that this has been a very suspenseful Dan Howell Watch. Hey, here's a fun Halloween joke. You know when you're so tired that you feel kind of like a ghost drifting through life? That's me, baby! Oh, the sound of that royalty-free sound effect reminds me that it's time for the question of the week. Last week I asked you a question of the week, as I do every week, and there were a whole load of answers, and I want to thank you so much for your answers, and of course for being a viewer and a part of the YouTuber News Global Conglomerate. #YNGC, you guys are the best, Red Diamonds. But there was only one correct answer to last week's question of the week, and it came from Anna Pugnetti, who said that the answer is Newton's second law of motion. That is actually correct. If you carried the one, if you did the algebra, it is actually Newton's second law of motion. So I want to thank you, Anna. A quick round of applause from everyone at home. Please clap at your screen. Come on, we've got a webcam technology. I can tell if you didn't clap or not. There we go. Now it's time for this week's question of the week, and I thought long and hard, and I've decided to make it a little bit spooky in honor of Halloween. So here's the question. Say there was a man named Jack-O-Lantern. So get your answers into that one next week, and if anyone gets it right, I'll read out their answer. Pumpkin! Before we go, a quick reminder that today's episode was brought to you by being so tired that you can see through time. Being so tired that you can see through time. I'm Benedict, and this is YouTuber News, a proud member of the YouTuber News Global Conglomerate, also the only member. Don't forget that the best way to get YouTuber News is to hit that subscribe button and you'll get videos discovered to you. Don't forget to smash that like button. Just absolutely smash that like button. Last week we got about 10 million likes. That was okay, but this week I really want us to break that 10.1 million barrier. We can do it, guys. We're the best fandom in the world. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great weekend. What will I be up to this weekend? Well, I'll be hobnobbing with all the biggest YouTube news guys. There's Keemstar will be there, other ones, and we'll all just be, you know, sipping champagne and talking about, oh, Jake Paul, you know, is it real? Is it a prank? You know, and just living the high life, you know, such is the life of a YouTube news boy. And as for you, darlings, I'll see you next week, and keep it news. Bunch of nonsense, if you ask me.